Hi, I'm Julie Riley. I'm the Community Ecologist for the Sheffield Lakeland Landscape Partnership. Like everybody else, I am stuck at home at the moment. However, I am lucky enough to be able to take my daily walk in a section of ancient woodland, or a remnant of ancient woodland near my house. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to go for a little walk with you and show you some of the spring flowers that are associated with this habitat. So what is ancient woodland? It's woodland that's been present since at least 1600. We've actually got a fair amount of it in Sheffield. There's 37 woods that have been identified as including ancient woodland. Their long history makes them extremely rich in wildlife. We know the history of woodlands from evidence like old maps, old documents like the Domesday Book, or records of timber sales. But there are also some plant species that are very slow spreaders, which are strongly associated with ancient woodland. And we call these ancient woodland indicators. So I'm heading off on my daily walk to see if I can find any ancient woodland indicator species. So I found my first AWI, which is wood anemone, anemone nemorosa. If I get in a bit closer, it's one of the earliest ones to flower. Quite lovely, quite distinctive shaped leaves. And you might have heard it called the wind flower because it's named after the Greek god of wind, anemone. They're usually white like this, but sometimes they can be tinged a little bit pink. And while I was looking at the anemone, I noticed a beautiful patch of bluebell has come out in this very sheltered spot up the bank. So let's see if I can get to it. Apologies if you hear me falling over, because this is not part of the normal path. So I think these are our native English bluebell. They look about right. Very delicate, slender stems. One of my colleagues is going to do a video next week about the difference between native and non-native bluebell, so I won't go into that in too much detail. Their scientific name is hyacinthoides non-scripta. The oides bit means resembles, because it resembles a hyacinth. And the non-scripta bit means it's got no writing, because the true hyacinth has markings on its petals, supposedly made when a god's tears fell on the original plant. Bluebell has over 70 local names, and it's a really good indicator of ancient woodland because it can take 35 years to spread 50 metres, so it's a real slow grower. Really lovely on a spring day like today. And this white flower is stitchwort. There's two kinds: greater, which tends to grow at woodland edges and under hedgerows, and lesser, which is more likely to be found in a acid grassland. I'll get close up. This plant is absolutely brilliant for insects looking for early spring nectar. It's really lovely. You might think that it's actually got 10 petals, but actually it has 5 petals, which are quite deeply notched, so that it looks like it has 10 petals. And the reason it's called stitchwort, apparently it refers to a herbal remedy using the plant to cure a stitch after doing exercise. So I recommend that you don't actually try that at home. I hope you've enjoyed your whistle-stop tour of a few ancient woodland indicator species. If you want to find out more, the Maine Wildlife Trust website has lots of species information. And if you search for Sheffield's Ancient Woodland Heritage online, you can actually find a PDF version of this leaflet that might give you a bit more information. So if you can safely explore a bit of ancient woodland near you, have a look and see what you can find. Thanks.